Alright folks, we're going to go ahead and look and see what came back for backlinks, which is the keyword backlinks. I put in a vertical term, backlinks, which was associated with, of course, the frequently asked questions number 2, which we elected to use as an example. In SEO backlinks, I could have gone SEO backlinks, but I just put backlinks in to see, because there's not a lot of pulsums, meaning similar words. What effects do rel dot? There's a bunch of them. And again, want to point out that the functional purpose of Painfinder is to get the most number of viewed questions at the top. And of course, there are people who like to look at the followers because the followers are something you're going to look at when you're following the Painfinder method and you're blog boosting and you're using the 5 iframe punch method for rapid fire expert blogging. That's a little bit different than what you're learning now because the keywords that you're focusing on right now are going to be going into the building of your first site, the construction of your first site at a high level. So that's a little bit different use of the Painfinder than, say, not using this as a tickler file to get you your next topic or blog post. You should never be in want for topics and themes as an expert for your blogging. So that's the 2 ways that you can use Painfinder. One is for the preparatory functional questions of your ISDNA, should ask questions, frequently asked questions, and or your just monthly and weekly blogging as an organization, as an expert organization, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. That's the main confusion I get. There's more than one way to use Painfinder. It's actually several ways to use Painfinder. Okay, so it looks like there's 93 questions. In the upcoming version, we're gonna pull the limit of 100 away from Painfinder, but it looks like there's only 93. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Normally what we do when we're blogging, looking for blogging questions for the next year or week or month, we just go ahead and click to answer. Okay, this is a good one for us to answer in our blog posts and so on and so forth. But to find the most important questions that are not just about blogging, but are about your entire business, associated with your entire organization, that's a little bit trickier. So a lot of the times I found the most important or popular questions do have to use with global vertical themes. So when you really look at how huge this question is acquiring backlinks as legitimate SEO strategy really dead? Okay, that's a leading question. That's what we call core inception. Next to this video, I'm leaving you a variety of other different methods for marketing that can be used by positioning questions. See, what this is doing is it's actually making the presumption that it was actually ever dead or that anybody even said it, okay? And also you can see, what does it mean to ping the backlinks on the site? These are all great technical questions, okay? And so what are the mass quantities of poor quality why are mass quantities of poor quality backlinks still so effective for SEO? Well, is it? Okay, so these are all questions that if your invention speaks to them, then you should try to use it. So what's interesting here is I already know what's going on in my mind right now. That's why I want to do this extra video for you guys. What's going on in my mind right now is that we have a proprietary type of backlinking concept. I'm going to go ahead and give some space to work here. Always give yourself enough space because I'm going to put it right under. I'm going to put a frequently asked question right under this. So what I do is I'll take a master frequently asked question, and if it's related to the same thing, I'll put it right next to it. So what I've got going on in my mind is we have a new and proprietary method, and it's going to be taught in the Tech Foundation 2 training course. I'm pretty sure it's Tech Foundation 2. Okay. So I want you to follow the whole process. So what's going on in my mind? We're going to call this Tech Foundation Training 2 with Jimmy Kelley, Russell, Wright, Sue Bell, Matt Cruz. Okay, so this is a whole course that we have coming. We'll make a lot of money doing this course, and it'll be incredibly helpful. But I'm going to call it that. Now I could put some other products in here. I probably will. Kraken will probably go in there. But I want to target this specifically because we've already got a name for this. Domain authority stacking. Okay. So domain authority stacking is a way for us to teach a very unique form of backlink creation, and that's really what I'm going to talk about. So I might just, since I have a concept that's a concept site, I'm going to go ahead and put, sometimes what I will do, because I'm big on creating new ideas and innovations in an industry, proprietary meme, concept, or contrarianism. And this is a little bit advanced, but I thought I'd just pull the curtain back so you guys to crawl all the way into my mind and see what's kind of going on up there. Contrarianism. As you know, I've created a philosophy called memetics, or epimemetics. Susan Blackmore created and Richard Dawkins created memetics. Epimemetics is designed as a marketing and cultural transformation tool, which is not far off from marketing. And so what I'm going to put here is I'm going to go ahead and put the website on this domain. And this allows me to keep track of my new and emerging ideas, because sometimes if I have an idea or a meme or a contrarianism, let me go ahead and write proprietary industry. I want to make it really clear. It's not just some random thing. Concept or contrarianism. I will actually buy the domain for it and just put up a one-page wonder. What this does is it allows me to start preparing for products that we're creating, and they generally get a lot of buzz, okay? And in fact, this one bounces right over the themes and certification page, and I've had people sign up for a $20,000 event just based on a really good idea. And that's one thing I wanted to make you aware of, is that holy smokes, when you start getting really good ideas, it's worth just getting a quick one-page domain up, especially if you've got a team of experts helping you or have got a new product idea. Again, you're going to do it in your own way, but I wanted to just show you the process, what's going on in my mind. And then when I'm kind of already got my product in mind, when I start looking through these, I get just a lot of general things. But I noticed on this one, let me just highlight that, what is the best backlink strategy and why? And there's very little responses. Now that's general enough. Here's what's the best way to get backlinks. So I could probably use the same answer for both of these. What's the best way to get backlinks? Can low quality but thoroughly, or this guy can't even spell the questions right. Thoroughly or throughly or organic backlinks hurt your SEO? What SEO tool can track the number of backlinks? Do backlinks from GitHub help SEO? Can anyone? Yes, it does. And that's an issue of domain authority. So I'm going to go ahead and use these. The reason I like them, what is the best backlink strategy and why? That's a fantastic question that can also be answered by our proprietary agenda. See, we already know we have the answer to that, and it's unique and distinct in the marketplace. So what I'll do is go ahead and bring this all the way up to the frequently asked question. I definitely consider that a frequently asked question. Backlink strategy. And we've got a long tail. SEO backlink strategy is implied. Okay, even though it's not in there, I would probably change the question to add SEO in it. Backlink strategy, SEO backlink strategy. That's a long tail. Don't know that I would put that, I wouldn't put SEO backlink strategy, but I might put backlink strategy in TLKT especially. Could put either one of these in TLKT, but I probably wouldn't give it to Matt as my master. I may or I may not. If I owned Kraken, I would definitely dump backlink strategy into Kraken and TLKT, see what I got. And what are the summary of the pains confusion? I would actually say that what's really nice about this, folks, is that your summary of the pains and confusions will often be the same. The question behind the question will often be the same. Okay? How do I rank higher on the search engine safely using far fewer inbound links is a frequently asked question. Well, I'm going to add a new I should ask question. I'm going to add a new should ask question right here. This new should ask question is what they should be asking is how is domain, can't use a capital D, got to remember that. How is domain authority stacking creating links, creating extremely safe backlinks in skyrocketing So how can domain authority stacking create extremely safe backlinks, skyrocket my rankings for all of my silos, all of the keywords in a website silo landing page. We'll keep it general in my silo website. Now I may not do that in a blog post, but you can see I've covered a lot of ideas. So what we do is we have the new term. Now here's where we get into what happens when you invent a new term. Well, what you'll find out, as we quickly found out, is when you're an industry leader, domain authority stacking, you will begin to discover that terms that you throw out can get halfway around the planet before you get up in the morning and get your pants on. Okay, it happens all the time. I can tell you half a dozen different terms that we created in order to re-educate the market. Now, you're not going to be able to drill into the search into Kraken or TLKT and find this. The only people that you're going to come back for this domain authority stacking, is us, really. Domain authority stacking, we're number 1 and number 2. Higher authority domains, domain authority score. Yeah, so domain authority stacking is ours, and of course then there's some of our scoop it stuff. Ha! Somebody decided to squat on domain authority stacking.net. That's funny, it's probably one of our buddies. I don't blame him for grabbing that one, because most of what we do will become famous within a year. Okay, so that's cool. And that's one of the benefits of being able to create new language. Safe backlinks. There might be some other words for this. Safe backlinking strategy. Okay, so that's good enough. Silo website is a part of that, but it's kind of a different topic. That's fine. So what's the pain behind the question? I think the pain behind the question is going to remain the same. When it comes to these, we don't need to reinvent the wheel each time, okay? And I'm just going to leave them as pretty much the same. Okay, so that's how I might do it. Now this is a great general, what is the best backlinking strategy? Because the key word here is strategy. Okay, and then of course backlinking tool might come later. Okay, so if we actually had a backlinking tool, I might take, for example, the best backlink tool, and I might point them to our website. Even though it's not a tool, it's a tool to get backlink. It shows how to safely do it when we have the Tech Foundation training course. And what we'll do is we'll get side sells and upsells tied to this new training course when it comes out. Okay, and this new training course is targeting really specifically the Tech Foundation training course. Now, of course, we have some branding and some notoriety behind it, but this is going to be incredibly helpful. And of course, I can put a blog post out based on this. I can answer this. And leading up to the course's launch, I can just have all of these, I can address all of these questions. Now, one advanced method, I can also answer this one. What are the best backlink strategies? It's the best way to get backlinks. I'll go in and look at some of these questions. Okay, that's a really simple answer. The short answer, create something interesting and tell everyone you can about it. So here's some people answering some questions. But these guys are really asking about, here's somebody who does have a video. Buying backlinks from providers is always a good option. Here are some cheap methods. Notice it's not very high. If you give a crappy answer, it's going to get voted down. Okay, but he did the right thing by getting video on top of here. And there's a lot of bad advice on here. So what you do is when you come in here with something totally distinct, people are going to love it. All right, so interestingly enough, because this is still dealing with the same issue, what I wanted to point, my main purpose is pointing this out, is that the questions behind the questions do not have to be filled out every single time if they remain roughly the same. Because the cool thing is that once you have the top level fear or pain about a specific top level keyword, it's oftentimes pretty much the same question behind the question every time. Okay. In other words, the safest and most powerful way to build backlinks website is pretty much the same as the best. It's just less granular. And then the tool would be one step away. Let's go ahead and see if they actually have tools. Let's go ahead and see if I'm going to do a Control F for tools. What tool would allow me to see more than 1,000 backlinks for a website? What's interesting about this, what SEO tool can track, these are mostly questions about tracking, not about creating backlinks, which I find very interesting. I need to check my backlinks on a specific period of time. What tool should I use? Okay, so it's got all of these. How do backlinks play a role in SEO? Okay, just these really basic things. So all these can be used to create domain authority. Interestingly enough, the very thing that we're talking about, when you answer a question inside Quora, you're going to be giving domain authority to the link that you're leading to. And you should always lead to the silo landing page of either the blog category or the blog silo category and or your main website category with the answer. And the answer should be indirect sales. Never do a direct sale, okay, for a question. So this is just one other method you're going to learn in your other course. And you're going to learn this. We're not going to get hugely into this in the Tech Foundation course. This is one of our other Tech Foundation training courses. But you also have a lot of information about this available to you inside the regular Network Empire members area, where you can go and learn the 5 iframe punch method. That's all available to you. And it's actually talking about basic domain authority stacking 101. Okay, and here's one question that I answered, and I put a video in there of Jimmy Kelley talking about it. Okay, and the question answered is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using a www subdomain? Okay. And I added this fairly recently. And there tends to be some party stuff where people will try to vote you down or up. So a lot of what's happening now in Quora is, this is a, in my opinion, a really, really excellent answer that answers the subdomain question than anybody else here did, but it might have gone above people's heads. So a lot of times people will actually get votes from other people in their local community and so on and so forth. So, but definitely speaking, generally speaking, you're going to get domain authority back to the site. And I've got a link to website silo architecture. I've got a link to domain authority stacking. So all of that's pushing domain authority to the links that I gave. And I'm actually not driving these links to WR1. I'm actually driving them to my wiki at this time. And this was actually just doing a test, so I didn't spend a lot of time on this. So that gives you an idea of, if you were doing this right in your blog, you would be pointing this link if the keyword was backlink authority or safe backlinks. That URL would link back to your landing page where you're talking about it, and that would be giving you some domain authority transfer from Quora. All right. So later on, when you get really seriously into Painfinder, you're going to be able to use these for mass blogging and just answer these questions left and right. And as you'll see in the 5 iframe punch method, ultimately you're going to be creating a better answer on the blog post that you're pushing this to. Okay, so it'll be like linking, you keep this interesting but incomplete, and then you'll link over to the post or page on your main site or on your blog, depending upon which part you're working for, which part of your empire you're working on, and the complete answer will be sitting on your platform, on your empire. Okay, so the purpose of, let's go ahead and look at, just so you know what I'm talking about here. The purpose of the long-term use of Quora is like, here's your main site, your money site, and then here's your blog. A lot of people have them as separate. When you're blogging, you'll have a silo set up on your category, so the Quora answer, like this one here, will point back to your number one. Okay, or on your blog, it'll point back to the silo blog. Okay, and if you're building your permanent site, your permanent pages, if you have a backlinking silo landing page because of the services or the course that you're offering, I would simply point that question back to the silo landing page. Or you can also do some deep linking if you have an article that's specific about that topic on Quora. That'll pass domain authority and juice from Quora. Okay, and it's also good if you can get your friends to vote up the answer if it makes sense to you. Like, for example, I could drop this answer into Skype and the guys in the Network Empire group could vote it up for me, and it's happened before, and I've immediately skyrocketed to the top of the queue. Okay, so those are some ideas, and again, this is just a very preliminary phase. I want you to get the imaginings of what you can do with Quora and Painfinder. It's just a quick start so that you're actually doing your research while you're creating backlinks at the same time. You can just actually hit the ground running so quickly that you're both doing your research, answering questions, and getting backlinks all at the same time. But don't get too heavily into it until this first site is up and running, which is what you're here in the Tech Foundation training course. It's the reason that you're here. So make sure you don't get lost in rapid fire question answering, because it can get quite addictive when you're working on that. And you don't really want to be doing a ton of it until you're set up, because you want that domain authority stacking and you want that juice to be passed from Quora. And also remember that the lion's share of the answer is going to be on your own blog, okay, on your own either blog and or website, your main website, which is what you're here to make. If you have any questions about that, just remember, interesting but incomplete. The mode that you want to use whenever you're providing content to third-party platforms like Quora and the rest. You can always go to interestingbutincomplete.com. Just make sure that you don't write all of your information on Quora. Don't give the best stuff away. In fact, even when they get to your main site, make sure that it's only complete on your expert consulting site. So the difference between an expert consulting model and people who lose money on the web, unless they're a giant monetization organization like Google, is that they give everything away outside of a membership area, or they give everything away out in public in plain view. That's how you lose all of your money. So don't give everything away. You're not an about.com or an eHow, where you can hire work-at-home moms to give pseudo answers to important things. Keep it insightful, informative, and intriguing, but I'm urging you all to go the upward route. Okay? Go up, not down, into complete. Stay away from the gravity of the monetization model that tends to siphon all the money out of your business. Go up to the expert consulting model. Stay up here. Give a sneak peek blog post. Okay, or a cliffhanger video, not the whole video. Give a free consultation or intro consultation, even only if you must. I know a lot of you do that. Don't make it more than 10 minutes, and get rid of that in your business model as soon as you can. An email autoresponder with nice cliffhangers. That's intriguing, okay? Also your white paper, that's informative. Your free report, these are all content lock kind of things. Cliffhanger, expert YouTube video series like the Experts Academy does. Okay, intriguing, headlines for social status updates, headlines for blogs. You see how many headlines are manipulating people on Facebook to click them, and half of them are like literally lies? That's click intrigue. It's working, but use decent headlines with interesting and factual information and intriguing. Headlines for sales letters, okay? These are the things that you want to use interesting and complete, and you want to stay in the expert consulting model. All right? If you don't use this, what you're going to do is you're going to be giving all of the answers to Quora. You're going to be clicking on Painfinder. You're going to be finding an awesome question. You're going to be all excited, and you're going to write this gigantic thing like this guy did here. See that? Rich wrote this gigantic thing. It's probably interesting and complete. All right? He didn't even drop a link, which is silly. So he's got no domain authority, and it's not clicking or linking to anything. So what Rich did is interesting and complete. He used the informative, useful facts, useful statistics, expert data, or even consulting. Even worse is when you give insight away for free. Never give insight away for free, or at least not your big back-end insight. What he did is a complete expert full blog post on Quora. And did he put that on his own blog? Did Rich put that in his own blog? Look how huge this is. This is one. How many paragraphs is this? One, two. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. Just, he wrote a professional post and he's making Quora rich. He's not making himself rich. So what we're trying to show you guys is how these can be used to drive traffic and domain authority into your vertical web ring and drive all this quality Quora traffic. You want to jack traffic from Quora, okay? And in closing, I would just say, I'm going to go ahead and install this video right in this area. Don't forget the basics.com. Okay, this is what you're trying to do, drive all that traffic inside. Watch this video. It's going to be below this one inside the Tech Foundation training course. This is a very obscure website that we don't drive a lot of traffic to. I use it as training. Okay, and when you remember what you're actually trying to accomplish, holy mackerel, you guys, when you understand the interesting but incomplete driving of traffic to your center point from these other applications by finding the pain, okay, what you're doing the same way you're driving the frequently asked questions to the should ask questions, the same thing is all going this way, and you're keeping it interesting but incomplete, the transaction is going to occur on your website because the lion's share of that content, instead of doing like Rich did, you know, in Quora that we just saw as a demo, bless his heart, you're going to have the best information behind a firewall and a buy button in between you and the rest of the world. And you're going to find yourself all of a sudden making 6 and 7 figures. And you're going to wonder what the hell happened for a second. Then you're going to go, oh yeah, I'm following a process that is deeply neuroeconomic and deeply technical. And you're going to pat yourself on the back and your family's going to look at you and go, wow, we have money now. You follow the steps that we're showing you, and that's exactly what will happen. Okay, I think that's going to be it for the Painfinder lessons. I'm going to add the videos that I just discussed and the interesting but incomplete modules and many, many other things that I want you to have as preparation for when you arrive at live certification event or at the other Tech Foundation training courses. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to also add some additional Quora videos and concepts as we begin to flesh out that course. I'm so glad to be working with you. You are well on your way to implementing some of what I consider to be the deeper secrets of driving massive traffic, page rank, domain authority, and conversion to your money site. Russell Wright from Network Empire. Go ahead and move on to the next module in this week or onto the next week if you've completed this module already. Thank you.